So it's been about 2 weeks since the global release of Duet Night Abyss. However, despite me preloading the game and even setting up an account to play it when it was going to go live, I never got around to doing so and eventually uninstalled the game after a couple days. Why did I make this decision? I'm just not convinced playing DNA is worth my limited free time given just how grindy the game appears to be, on top of the stiff looking gameplay, lack of polish, and monetization system that appears to be far more expensive and inflexible in some areas to Warframe. The game DNA takes heavy inspiration from. Similarly to the Space Ninja romp, Duet Night Abyss allows players to grind out characters and weapons through gameplay free of any gacha mechanics and no time-gated stamina system, allowing players to go at their own pace even if said pace can be incredibly slow at times. It's an inverted progression system that favors players with a lot of free time to invest in these games over far longer play sessions when compared to your typical gacha game that consolidates its possible progression to 5 to 10 minutes a day, suited far more for players with actual responsibilities in real life that isn't being a full-time content creator. As someone who falls under the latter category with a full-time job, I have no interest in dumping so much of my free time into Duet Night Abyss. And no, this doesn't have anything to do with comparing it to a gacha game. There are plenty of grind-heavy retail experiences that can offer a far more compelling experience than anime Warframe. Grand Blue Fantasy Relink comes off the top of my head immediately, which has a combat system that's so polished and refined that it kicks DNA to the curb. And that's before we even consider the breathtaking art style and setting of the Grand Blue Fantasy universe when put right next to dark sci-fi fantasy setting number 248. Want a few more examples of games you can sink hundreds of hours into? How about Deep Rock Galactic?
Rock and Stone!
Huh? Oh, sorry, I don't know what came over me there. How about the 3 different Monster Hunter games on modern generation hardware? I don't even like Wilds, but I take it over Duet Night Abyss. And of course, there's always Warframe, the subgenre defining game with years of content ahead of its cheap imitator. I could honestly keep going on, but I think you get my point. I won't take too much more of your time, and I'm just gonna wrap up my thoughts. Just like with Star Resonance Blue Protocol, as much as I enjoy anime art styles in video games, it will only get you so far in enjoying any singular video game. At some point, the game itself needs to carry its own weight for someone like me to truly be invested in it. And based on what I've seen, it's a game that's mediocre at best that got a following from players that were fed up with gacha and stamina systems in the games that they came from prior to Duet Night Abyss. Bonus points if you're one of those weird anti-Hoyoverse obsessed virtue signalers. Not you watching though, you're one of the good ones. You are one of the good ones, right? Will I ever play it? Possibly. Psyche looks cute in an Astalos cosplayer kind of way, but I need a lot more out of the game to convince me than just one attractive anime girl when attractive anime girls come a dime a dozen in this corner of the games industry.